Jannik Sinner will not be in action at the Qatar Open. Jannik Sinner has been forced to withdraw from next week's Qatar Open after being banned from tennis for 3 months. The Italian will be prohibited from featuring at any tournaments until May, after reaching a settlement with the World Anti-Doping Agency, WADA, following his 2 failed anti-doping tests last year. Sinner has enjoyed an incredible rise to dominate his tennis rivals over the last 12 months and won the U.S. Open in September after clinching his first Grand Slam at last year's Australian Open. And the 23-year-old was considered one of the favorites to win the Qatar Open after claiming victory at last month's Australian Open. Sinner had clearly been expecting to compete in Qatar as he had traveled to Doha ahead of the tournament. There are even videos on social media that show him practicing on a court as he hits a series of shots from the baseline. But he will now have to rearrange his plans as he takes an enforced break from the sport. Sinner will be eligible to play in the remaining 3 Grand Slams of the year, however, as his ban will only run until May 4th. The French Open is due to get underway on May 19th, with Wimbledon starting at the end of June before the U.S. Open begins. In late August, Sinner first tested positive for the banned substance clostebol at last year's Indian Wells, which took place in March. He tested positive for a second time 8 days later, but put the results down to contamination, as he insisted. His physiotherapist had used the substance on his own hand before applying treatment to him. And on Saturday morning, WADA issued a statement that read, WADA accepts the athlete's explanation for the cause of the violation as outlined in the first instance decision. WADA accepts that Mr. Sinner did not intend to cheat and that his exposure to clostebol did not provide any performance-enhancing benefit and took place without his knowledge as the result of negligence of members of his entourage.